So we are starting our week 13, by the way. And this week we are going to discuss some important things like it's mainly the Firebase and the database thing. But before that, yesterday also in the section, next other section, I started it in a little different way. And I'll discuss one more extra. We have already discussed some extra topics, by the way, in the likes of, the JSON server. It was not there specifically. So we have somehow done some of the databasing already in the project. You remember? We have done the put request, get request, and delete request and everything. But other than that, there is one more thing that I would like you guys to just understand before we move on, and that is something that would be of great help when you are making a real project. And the thing that I want to discuss again, which is not there in the slides as well, and I'll discuss that here. It's actually called custom hooks. So we have talked about use state, we have talked about use effect, we have talked about use location, we have talked about use params, stuff like that. They were all pre-made hooks. And again, React gives that. Some of them were from the core React, some of them were from the React router DOM. Remember? These params and everything. In React, there is a way to define your own hook, which is interesting. Why? Because it gives you that facility or power of having a sort of library for yourself. It's same like in JavaScript or other programmings, you have a library function or library of functions. You make a library function, then you have maybe 10 functions, and you just import that library everywhere and you use those functions and you don't want to redefine them, of course. In the same way, remember, hooks are there for the state management, so to speak, right? So here in React, we can create our own hooks that would be capable of maintaining the state somehow, whatever we are defining, as well as we will be able to just work with them to achieve more and more interesting stuff. So now I would start with a little project where we would try to make our own custom hooks, starting with a very simple one. Then we'll try to go a little bit 2 or 3 steps further, and we'll just look into that. You remember that we always need to fetch data here and there in our projects. So we might want to define a hook that is just there for the fetching of the data. And it just needs a URL, just like the function. You just provide a URL and it will bring that, fetch that data, and has all the ingredients of fetching already there. Maybe in likes of try catch, maybe in likes of async and everything. You don't need to worry about them. So you know what I mean? So let's start with a new project today in our week 13 folder. I will go in my week 13 folder from terminal. So right now I'm here. So I'll go into section 1, which is this one. And then I'll go to CD week 13, that I've new folder that I've created. And here I would like to just give me a second. Am I sharing my screen? No, you see that? And that becomes a very bad thing. So now I'm sharing my screen on the meeting. Right. So what we have done, we have created a new project, and what we are doing now, right now, let's create a new project. npm create wheat at latest, and I would call this custom hooks, for example, because I will be making custom hooks in this project. So I'm creating a custom hooks project. And here again, the predictable steps, I'll do custom hooks, npm install. And yes, I will run this project as well, because I would be trying to look at the outputs and few stuff over there. So I will run that project as well. You remember, we would like to just see that what's going on, and I'll run this project as well. Okay. So this is our project, and let's run that. npm run dev. It should be running shortly. All right. So this is now my application should be running. Let's run that and see what it shows. Let's close all rest of the files. Okay. So this is our project running. And what I'll do, just do the cleanup stuff that I want to do over here. The cleanup stuff means I will go first of all to my app.jsx and clean that app.jsx. And I would like to just take everything even inside div. I'll take everything away, just leave the fragment. And again, I don't need this right now, state count, anything. And since all of these are gone, so I'll just clear them. So my app should now look like this, where nothing is there. So what I'll do is that I'll just put a H1 here, and I will say custom hooks. Custom hooks. Now, there is a long theory behind that, but I will start with something. I want to create my own hooks that would be capable of maintaining state and stuff for me, number one. And there are certain rules to define hooks, your own hooks. And one of the very obvious rule, always hook name should start with a prefix use, small letter use. So I will start, I'll just make my first hook. So I will always start a hook with this, like, this word use, and then I will use my own word. So for example, I can say use fetch data, use, bring something, or we'll just see that one. So first rule is that hook name should start with use. Now, to make them also, what I'll do in my SRC, as I have this habit of doing all this stuff, in my SRC, I'll create a new folder and I'll call it hooks. I'll create a folder and call it hooks, right? The first thing. I have a folder. Oh, why not? That one is that those parts are not running. I did not know that they're not running. Now, is it good? Yeah. It's a new project. It's a all new project. Week13. And the project name is custom hooks. You can name it anything. Custom hooks.
After the running the commands,
Everything.
we should create.
Yes, hooks folder inside SRC. Yes. Like, as we create that components folder in SRC, remember? We generally do that. So in the same way, we have created what? Hooks folder. Can you quickly come to this point so that we move from here? Rest of the people I'm expecting you are with, right? Now, yes. So first step done. Not first step. I'll come to this hooks folder and I'll create a new file. My file use dog title. It's a very simple hook. Whenever you will call this, it will change the title of the document. Make sense? It will change the title of the document. Very simple. We are starting with simple one, and as I said, I will move to some interesting loopholes. So this hook will do what? It will change the title of my document. Whatever document you call it, it will change that. Right? And this is my custom hook. This will behave as a hook, work as a hook, but will do whatever I want. Let's start. And not start, let's do what we generally do. Let's do RAFCE. Remember, create a hook. Like, let's create the function over here. Right? Let's create a function over here. Now, the first thing that I'll need in this function, I will need to import use state over here. Now, you would be thinking, what is that? And I might use, I would need use effect as well. we cannot avoid the pre-made things because, use state and use effect, they have their own purposes. So I will use them to make my own hook. So you always, when you write your own function, you take help from the other functions, right? So we are taking help from the use state and use effect, and we are just trying to clear that. Now, let's define a use state variable after our initialization, and let's call it const dog title set dog title is equal to use state. I've defined one state variable here. Again, pre-made space state variable, use state, right? Now, what I wanted to initialize with, I want that whenever someone calls this hook, they pass a parameter with the name of title. You see, I'm destructuring that title over here. And that title will become the state value. Makes sense, everyone? What I've done. Just listen. This dot title, whenever someone will call this hook, they will pass one parameter, one title prop. I catch this prop, and after catching this prop, what I've done, I have defined my own variable, dot title. And I've said dot title, set dot title, use state title. So whatever has been passed, catch that and make a new state variable over here. Make sense? Whenever someone calls you as a use dot title, catch a prop, bring it over here, and set it in one of these state variables inside here. It's a state variable that I've defined over here. Now, after that, I have also brought out use effect. Now called use effect. Use effect will have a callback function. You guys remember that one? In that callback function, just do a very simple thing. Set up the doc title, whatever you have got from here, just set up the document.title. Remember, document.title access is the title of the document. So access wherever you are, access the title and set it up in the doc title, right? Like, not set it in the doc. Make it doc title, whatever has been passed to you. Whatever was our state variable over here. Make it there. Now I have a question. If I leave it like this, we'll talk about more. So, use effect comes up with three options. First option, run with every rendering. Second option, run just for the first rendering. Third option, run whenever there is a change in some variable. What do you think? Which one will suit over here? Should I leave it like this? It means it will render with, this use effect will run with every rendering or re-rendering of the component. Does it something I want? Or I want it to just run once and then never run back again, wherever you are called. Or I want it to change always whenever doc title change. Whenever the doc title change. Does that make sense? Because I want it to be always running. Because whenever the doc title change, you have to go and change the title. Make sense? So that's why I'm just telling you step by step. That first thing that I would like to put a switch here. The switch here will be square brackets, and what I'll put doc title here. Does that make sense? I just wanted to have, that typical thing. Now this is interesting one, what this is suggesting. Now, it actually will not return any JSX. It actually will return an array, and that array will be having doc title and set doc title. A hook generally will not return any JSX. Rather, it will return either an object, an array, or an object data. It might be an object data. So now you might be thinking what it is doing. What it is doing, you see, whenever someone will call by use doc title, they will pass a prop into that one, XYZ, right? Then XYZ come into this hook. This hook sets up this doc title and sets up XYZ as the first value, initial value, XYZ. And then access use effect, because doc title is changed or it has got some value. So it will run. It will run and it will see that what is the doc title, whatever, and it will just set up the title over there, XYZ. The document title changes. And after that, nothing will happen because it is just returning this doc title and this set doc title. Are you guys getting that one? It is returning these two things. And if someone wants to change this title, they will have to call what? Which is already being written, which is already being written. Make sense, everyone? So let's see how I will call it in my app. So it's all ready. Its hook is ready. Now let's go to the app.js. Yes, sorry. I am after return. I'm
It's in the beginning after this returns.
Yeah, you have to close the console.
this one.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I just deleted it somehow, right? Okay, so now come to your app.jsx. First of all, what I'll do, I need to import what? Use doc title. And from where? From dot / hooks / doc title. Remember, just like with normal component we used to import. It's just like normal component, but it's not a component anymore. What it is a hook, by the way, and the name suggests. Just remember this as a tip that if someone asks you that these are multiple functions written, which one is the custom hook? So you will always recognize it with the use keyword. It should start with use keyword, right? So you'll say, so it's a hook. Now, so doc title value will, the doc title component or doc title use a state, like state variable or hook is available here. I have to just call this one here, right? Now let's call this. I'll come here and I'll create a variable over here and say, for example, I would say, let's say I say doc title. I can name it same thing over here. Sorry, doc title, set doc title, and bring it from where? And here I'll have to pass a prop over here. Do you guys understand that one? And when I pass this prop, you remember that it was accepting a prop over there. So I pass something here. So I pass here, for example, I pass here some title, right? And I don't do anything else, some title. And I hit save. I will not hit save. I'll first of all show you. Look at my project here, which is hidden by this one. Hopefully now it will be available. Okay. So now I'll come here and I will hit save. I'll hit save here. It says undefined. Sorry. What are you saying? Yes, I will open that. I will open that. Don't worry. It's here. Yeah. Yeah.
Having the title, we shouldn't use the curly bracket. Just have the object.
Without that,
I think
it should work with that one as well. By the way, let's check that one. Still undefined. You see that? So there's something wrong. Something else. Oh yeah, it's not there. Oh, you're right. Okay, so we don't part. It's not taken as a prop. It's passed as a parameter type or something, right? Yeah. Okay. Wonderful. So look at that. Yeah. Which title?
The unit parameter.
Oh, over here?
Yeah.
Okay, right.
But if we pass title instead of dot title.
Okay, so if you pass that title instead of dot title, generally speaking, it looks like whenever someone will call this title will change. But whenever user will hit set title something, so this title will not change. Props cannot change. You remember? Did you ask his question? Did you listen his question? What is he saying? He's saying instead of putting this dot title, that's a very good question. Instead of putting dot title, why can we put this title over here? And whenever title changes, you should run. Do you guys understand? What's the question? It says instead of dot title. But do you know the answer what I'm saying? Listen, because I have not changed the title. I have just passed some title and it's just showing some title over there. Now I will just make a button and I will try to change the title through that button. Now listen, when I will change the title through that button, this dot title is a state variable. We generally put the state variable in our, mostly what we do as an option, we pass state variable rather than the normal variable. You know what I mean? We try to put our state variables in our square brackets for an option rather than putting the normal variables. Make sense? So now what will happen that because anyhow, whenever title comes, this dot title automatically changes itself. So we just put that state variable because again, a state variable change actually compels re-rendering of the component. You know what I mean? Whenever there is a change in a state variable, re-rendering happens. So when re-rendering will happen because of this state variable, and when re-rendering will happen, use effect will again run because of that one. Because it is changed because of dot title. Now, let's make a button on our, so this is now working. And now if I come in app, see here, I create a button here. I create a button and I say change title. For example, let's say I say change title. I have a button. Now listen, in this button, what I would like to do, I'll call on click of this button equal to curly brackets. Simple. And here, I will have a callback function, remember, because it's a function that we have to call. So I'll say set.title and I will write new title. Yeah, I'll show you. I'll show you. Its button should change what? The some title to the new title. Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And this syntax is I think.
Right.
How does it know like what is top title and what is set top title?
Oh, that's a very good question. So, and I will add to your question. You want to say that can we just rename anything to these two things? And how would it know that I have to adopt? Is that your question?
No, like most top title set top
Right.
it should be like an array, like in a normal JavaScript.
Right.
It should be like an array or something like
Yes.
a check.
Yeah.
There is nothing defined as top title, set top title earlier. So how does it know?
Oh, that's wonderful. So just keep that. Look at that over here. What I am returning from here. Look at that. What I'm returning from here. I'm returning an array of values. Look at that. I'm returning an array of values. I told you the return of a hook is always either it would be an array of multiple values or it might be an object containing multiple. You know what I mean? So when these two values are going from here, when I'm calling this on my app, so actually first value that goes and sits up in the first one, and it can be anything over there. By the way, we are calling the dot title and set dot title, but they can be anything because I'm defining the new variables. And that's the important part. Now you will understand hooks more better. That hooks, they just return the reference and the method of name of the method. And that is our own duty. We can just make it anything or we can call it. But how does it know? It knows because it is returning that things. It is returning an object, an array with two values. It's 0 location, it's 1 location. So what happens? The 0th location, the 0 location goes to the 0 location and the 1 location goes to the 1 location. And 0 location is the variable and 1 location is the method or the function that would be used. Yes.
So we can return,
Sorry?
we can return functions also
From here?
from the used of.
Yes, we can return functions, but you see that we are returning that function as a reference and as it is an array, in an array. And as a reference, that function comes over here. I call that function in my program. You see that? I'm saying what I'm doing, send dot title. This dot title, and this was a normal, looks like a normal variable, but it's not a normal variable, it's a function. It's a function that is coming from my hook. So I say brackets and I pass something. It says, okay. Now what happens? From here, it catches this use dot title and changes the title over there. Yes.
And in this fifth line,
Yeah.
only used of title is from the other three, right? And everything is different.
Exactly. You're right. So the most important or the important thing over here is that I'm using this use doc title that I brought. Other than that, here I'm passing anything that I want, that I want to set as a title of the document, whatever. And here I'm just naming two variables because it's sending me two references over there.
Can you please change that so that?
Oh, yeah, sure. The name of the variables? Oh, why not? Let's do that. Okay, okay. X, set X. What about this? X, set X. Make sense? Now, if this is X and set X, I'll just come here. I'll call set X here. And X should be over there. Now look at that. Now see, some title. And now if I come here and I change the title, is it coming as a new title? Because listen, and this is the question, this is a very valid question. Because this has nothing to do whatever name is coming from there. I can name it by my own. So I have called this X and set X, whatever. And you see, but I have to call that function with that name. So actually, when I ask you, when I'm calling this set X, actually what I'm calling set down title from my hook.
The function.
Function. In the same way as we do with the use state variable. I'll show you. Use state, hook. Look at that. Now, I'll ask you a question. I am creating, for example, I have created a use state variable over here. Look at that. So here I can call it anything at all. Just important thing is use state. Number one. Second important thing is what I pass over here as a value. That would become what? That would actually become what? The value of the initial value of that variable, of that state variable. Make sense? Yeah.
I suppose we can return from here only functions
Mm-hmm.
and it will be work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Sorry?
Only if we return only function,
Uh-huh.
only set the title,
Uh-huh.
it will be work.
Oh,
It
if
will work.
I just pass, for example, I just pass this set doc title from here. I take it away. We'll do that. But first of all, let's think about it, what will happen. When I will be making its variable, I will be able to catch only one variable. If you remember the destructuring, when I did the destructuring of email in very early days, when we sliced the email or we broke the email into two parts, and we said we can skip out the one part, So, for example, if you say that if I take away doc title and I take away the comma as well, so then when I will be creating its variable, on my app, I will have just one option because this one value has been passed. And that would be whatever you have passed from here. If it is a function, set doc title, it will be function. If you pass doc title, it will be just doc title. I won't be able to change it if the function is not there. I won't be able to access it if the X is not there. Like set doc is not there. You know what I mean? So that is basically here.
So you need doc title, show it on the page, right?
No, listen, what this, now, let's talk about, we are on one screen right now. This is my custom hook. I am saying, if you need to use my custom hook, use doc title, you can use it, but you will get two values back from here. One of them will be the reference of the value, one of them will be the reference of the function. Make sense? You catch them, and and you provide me a value also when you are calling me, you provide me a value also. So I will set that value and I'll provide you reference and the function. Reference of the variable, reference of the function. You use that function to change my value and you use that variable to show that value somewhere. Make sense?
So one to change and one to show.
Sorry?
One to change and one to show.
Yes, exactly.
And third is the new value.
Oh, what is the new variable? That's an important, interesting question. When I call set title, like, set X in my app. So what actually does? We come all the way to this one and we say that this is the set dot title. So when I call set X from there, I'm actually calling this. Come here and changes the title to whatever I have passed that. New title. We should see right now. New title. Make sense? So isn't that interesting, making your own hooks? And this is at the beginning. I'll tell you some hooks that you'll really find very interesting. This is not that, that important. Doc title can be changed with anything, with minimum effort, right? But again, you can proudly say that this is my own hook that is doing that for me. It's not a pre-made thing. Now let's come back here. Let's talk about another hook, which will be another very interesting hook, but it is a little bit different, and you would really find that a little different from this one. So I'll close this one because I will keep this over here on my document. But so in the hooks, let's create another file. in the hooks, let's create another file and I'll call it use smooth scroll dot JSX. Now look at the name. That's why I've just made it bigger. I've called it use smooth scroll dot JSX. This name suggests I want to have a hook that if I grab, it will allow me to smoothly scroll on the page. You know, smooth scrolling you would have seen in the CSS. There is a property. Behavior is equal to smooth if you are scrolling somewhere. And you will find you might find something new from the CSS as well. Smooth scrolling. I'll just talk about that. So use smooth scroll. What does that mean? I want my document to smoothly scroll top and bottom, for example. And it's not the abrupt. You know, abrupt scrolling is I click button, but I get the next screen. And the smooth scrolling is I click the button and it just, it just goes like that. Smooth scrolling, right? Okay. So now let's start working on that one. For that, first of all, let's create the component RFCE, right? And now here I will need a little interesting hook that we have not worked before. And you might, I'll just show you that and as well. I need to import a hook called useRef from, and by the way, since it is from React, so I can write both of them over here as well. React, comma, useRef from React, right? I've got both of the things. React, comma, useRef. Does that make sense? Scroll now. Useref. What is useref? I'll show you. I'll just show you that useref. Useref. Look at that. It's a new hook. We have not discussed this useref. So I'll just talk about that one. Useref is a pre-made hook, like use state, like use effect. It's a pre-made hook. What it does is a React hook that lets you reference a value that is not needed for rendering. Now, if you summarize it, we can make reference on the page by using useRef hook. Now, if I ask you in normal HTML, how do we make reference on a page? Anyone remembers? If I want to make a link on the page and on the same page, I want to go to the bottom. How do we do that? Top of the page or bottom of the page. How do we do that? Generally in normal HTML. How do we do that? Anyone? Sorry?
We're using ID.
Wonderful. We give ID to particular area and we use a hash on the same page to access that one. If you don't know, you need to know. You are supposed to know that. Again, I'll tell you. On HTML, normal HTML, we give ID to some particular element. And from the other part, we say a href is equal to hash that ID. For example, that ID is bottom, for example. So you say a href is equal to hash bottom and write something. So you click on that, you directly go to the bottom place. Are you guys understanding? Useref's purpose. Useref in React is used to give reference to particular areas of the page. Like we used to give ID to the elements. Are you guys getting that one? And we'll see, you'll see example and you will definitely find it. So I will make use of this useref to make my smooth scrolling program, a smooth scrolling hook. Now, yes, let's come back. So I have just brought this useRef from my component. Now I'll come to this component and I will first of all make its reference. So I'll say const ref is equal to useRef. Create a reference somehow on the page. I don't know where. Just create a reference on the page. And if you have the reference on that page, look at that. Make a function smooth scroll equal to, that would do what? Ref dot current dot scroll into view. And here I would say behavior smooth.
Could be a developed pair. What? What?
We have this gaming arena.
What?
Like where people watch the video.
What for?
I didn't know that. Yes, I didn't understand it.
What?
We have this. We play like I want to invest in the next one.
Oh, it's still not seen.
Yeah, so I think when I say maybe you take all this. No, they are always making new things. So it's a really fast to it's a landscape, right? It's a landscape, and you just have to have it. Yeah.
Dude, I think it's so bad. I wouldn't just think about what, but it's fire. Wait, it's open.
That's right.
There's a bunch of.
I was just on the phone.
Yeah, that looks like.
No, the COD channel people that actually develop, the people qualified for the ECT masters from right? Oh, yeah, so they will close the entire thing. Even we can't go there. Yeah, it's.
Yeah, because of the picture.
Yeah.
What about this one? This one built on it? Joy?
No, the fascinating beyond stuff and everything. No, thank you. It's like a.
But it's
The COD campuses have actually privately can see. So the teachers are not complaining, saying for stuff that happened, they're imagine the auditorium. I'm gonna get my jersey signed, bro.
Okay, so now it's here. I have created a reference variable that will use reference. Now think about it. This ref will actually take the reference on the page. And listen to this very carefully because I am going to give you a task here after we are done with first part. So ref will take the reference of the page somewhere. Make sense? And smooth scroll is a method, is a function. What it does, it's a function that will take this reference, whatever reference is on the page. It finds out the current value of the reference where I have to go and scroll into view. Scroll into view is a normal property in in JavaScript and HTML, CSS that actually scroll you into some new view. So it will scroll into view, and while it will be viewing or scrolling into, it will use which behavior? So the option of behavior is smooth. Are you guys getting that one? Now, it means I have got variable, which will be reference. I've got function, which is smooth scroll. Are you guys getting that one? Now listen, on my page, when I will use this, I will have to make a reference on the page that would be coming and stored in this ref. And I would use this smooth scroll method over there to smoothly go to that particular area. Make sense, everyone? Yes.
How will you get the reference? How does he know?
I'll tell you, let's now, first of all, let's do one thing. What it will return, of course. Now what it will return? How is my, let's see. It will return the same thing. It will return what? Ref, comma, smooth scroll. First of all, don't worry about that, how it will know that. Just think about it right now. It will return what? Ref and smooth scroll. Are you guys understanding? And it's exactly the same thing that we have been doing. Just do two things. Have one variable, and be it state variable or something, and then one function that you will pass on.
And just put them in there.
So yeah, same like this. Put them in it. So array is going at 0 location. I have the reference, the point, and 1 location. I have a method that I'll click on, and that method will take me over there. And with what smooth behavior? The smooth behavior. Make sense? Now let's come in our app and use that. Okay, so let's go to app.jsx. And again, I'm leaving that this x and set x because some of you were thinking about it, so I've just left that one. Okay, so first step, what is that? Import, use smooth scroll from hooks, right? It's helping me out in importing. So I don't need to worry about that one. Now, I'll show you the page because I will be doing a little interesting CSSing here. So is that it's here? So I create after this button, I create another button. Scroll down, for example. I have a button called scroll down. Okay, I just forgot one more thing. What I'll do, I'll create its variables as well, reference, right? So what I'll say, for example, reference to scroll and smooth scroll. And as I said, you can name it anything. You can name them anything. Is equal to use smooth scroll that I have created. First, the second step was that I forgot. Now, I'm saying call my hook, use a smooth scroll. Get two things out of it. Now, can you tell me ref to scroll? What it is now? Your question, Karsh, here it was how it will recognize. This ref to scroll is actually mentioning to what? Ref. Do you understand? And this smooth scroll, its name suggests it's referring to smooth scroll. Understand? Now, so this is a button that I will click and I want to scroll somewhere. Now, where I want to scroll, interestingly, I want to scroll to a div and I'll create this div here. So I'll say I am at the bottom of the page, which is not. Now, how can I take it to out of the screen, bottom of the page somehow? It is right now on the same screen. How would we do that? Now see here. Some of you might would like that. Style is equal to, do you guys remember that we have a style double curly brackets? I give it style is equal to margin top. Margin top. Make its margin top. And you know what is margin top? Do you guys know? Margin top is its distance from these two buttons or the top elements. Margin top. And what I make it? I don't know how many of you know about that or not. So there is a value called 150 VH. What is this VH? Viewport height. And look at that. If I hit save, look at that. Did I get the scrolling already? I have, that has gone way down on the page. You guys understand that one? You see that has gone down the page and it's not on my screen because we have set it up 150 VH, 150 viewport height, right? Viewport height. Margin top is equal to 150 viewport height. This is an interesting way of just, applying something and that goes to the rock bottom, Otherwise, we could have, bring some text and do some stuff. So it's good that you just apply style and just take it over. Now, here comes the real point. This div, listen very carefully. This div is the place which I want to make a reference because I have to scroll into this one. Are you guys getting that one? Now, what I do? I'll come here and to this div, I will give an attribute that we have not used before, maybe that you guys might not have used before. And that attribute is called ref. Reference. Can someone tell me what should I write here? I will give it ref to scroll name. Because this is the place where I want to go into. I want to make it a reference. Remember, ref is equal to, now see here, what I do? Ref to scroll. Now, if I come here and I write ref to scroll, just that one, right? Ref to scroll. Now I have just one step remaining. Can someone tell me what is that step? Apply the smooth scroll function on my button, right? Just come here. Next step, I'll write here on the button. I'll just come here and I'll write here on click. And again, since I don't have to pass anything, since I don't have to do anything, I'm not worried about, I can just directly say smooth scroll. You know, you remember why do we take the callback function over here if you have to pass the value? But we don't have to pass any value. We just want to call it smooth scroll. I hit save. We need to use the callback function. Always. Remember, even I can call this also by using callback function. But do you remember, if I had to pass anything to smooth scroll, I would definitely want to call a callback function. And you go into our project and you will find that out. You know, we've done that. Okay, now see here. If we have done everything right, look at that. When I click on this button, you can see that? If I click on this button, scroll down, it goes to the down over there. It means you have missed something, no problem. It means you have missed something. Okay. So see here. Now, I want a favor. How many of you are, it's working for you guys? It's working for you? I need a favor. Sorry. It's like this, going smoothly. Okay. Now I want one thing. I'll just give you the task and then I will see those who are having problems. The task is that in this div over here, in this div, after this div, there is a button. Or let's put that inside the div, and which says go to top. Look at that. It has a button go to top. Look at that. It has a button go to top. I have to click on this and just the reverse happens. But again, by using my hook, by using the hook, use smooth scroll. Think about it and just come up with a solution. You know what I mean? You have to just think about it and how it would come. Amjad, can you show me your output? Oh, okay. Can you go to your use smooth scroll? Your smooth, grab it on, and then scroll, scroll into view. Spelling looks correct. And smooth scroll is fast. That looks good. Can you go back to your app? Hit save. Hit save. And again, just okay. And now click on the scroll down. No, scroll down. Okay. It does not go smoothly, right? No. Let's find out what is going on. Grab to scroll. That is correct. Smooth scroll is correct. Grab to scroll and smooth scroll. Yes, good. I use the response. Should I import something? No, just hold on. Can you go back to your app again? Yes, just hold on. There will be a very minor slight mistake that is just making things happen. Otherwise, everything looks good. But there is something in that. Your site title was working fine, right? Yes. Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. Oh, it's not too sticky, right? Which browser you are using, by the way? Brave. Sorry? Brave. Okay. Can you just maybe, just in case, check, do you have Chrome?
Have Microsoft Edge.
Yeah, try that. Edge is just only there to download Chrome. Yeah, that's true. I have the same. Yeah, I don't like that. You know, you have seen that now they've started a new thing. Whenever you open your Outlook, they say, I want, Edge will work. Yes. Go and open that. Like you go to Edge. Yeah. But again, it's like that. No, that's the correct. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, this Edge.
Click on that. This is Edge.
Yeah.
It's not showing. I can go back to your code. Looks like there's spelling mistake. There's something.
The spelling it should be here, like this.
Yes. Behavior smooth. And that looks perfect. behavior, smooth. But there is something, that we are not looking at.
That's the exact thing. Oh, because I love it.
Yeah, but there's not many, name can be anything. Yeah. But there is something that is not allowing your project to go.
The problem is that it's working fine.
Sorry?
It's working fine, it's just the behavior.
Yeah, which is not best.
Is there another behavior I could pass this to try?
Yeah, can you just really go to that as the values of the behavior?
I think it you saw what this way. Yeah. You go. Put your hand. You can make that's how to go. That's all right. Every time you guys are. That's the point. I think we have. It's actually scared. I know what you mean. I
No, we're wasting time.
Okay, yeah. All right, so. Okay, so anyone tried that one? Like going back? Okay, good.
Well, maybe, I think, I'm gonna try to plug up my charger. Wait, that's not it. There's no. It's not wrong.
Yeah, right?
Give me your Chrome.
Same, right? Maybe.
Google Chrome. Can you try to put it on Microsoft Edge, maybe? Copy the link and
Go back. We have to use this one at line number 4. Line number 4. It's always happening. It's good. If there's something wrong, but his behavior is good. It's not good. It was error here. He was showing that for him. It's not showing that. Amjad, can you go in and find out the console what error it shows? If it shows some error on the behavior, because here we find out because this console was showing that behavior is not the right behavior. Smooth is not the right behavior. So we found out that smooth was the with capital letters. Okay. Yeah. So you made change to that.
Yeah.
Okay, just show. Yeah, but now go back. Okay, smooth scroll is not enough. Okay, go back.
Oh, I know.
Just one letter. Save that. Now go back to your program. Refresh that and clean that.
Yeah, so to the top.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Yeah. I think I went to the next. I so this is yeah. You see him in the party. And this is tough news.
It's like flying.
Is it like well like a great thing in our system? Yeah. You will always find it.
New file or you update the change?
Well,
Pancakes.
Like you scroll, let's say you create a new file.
but it's good.
No, what you did. What you do next in. So I going to define that.
What is it's like why aren't they?
Oh, you know, really much questions.
This week. That's it. What else?
Also, this is how we think. Yeah, you were. You don't school the smart.
What's supposed to be?
Got the five. Yeah.
Why? Because of the game? Is it, would you think that it's your goal?
Yeah.
Then you so they all can be.
The second one, the second one.
The second word, so like all the
Don't worry about it.
you should bad. You should bad. Really, you think do this?
Well, the teacher didn't do that. He did. It's that, at least
That's fine.
it's not that, like,
It's supposed to prepare to while I
big part, he's like a big part of it works.
you can say like that.
We were there also. Fine, but. Yeah, we did it. Like, right, racist. Oh my God, I'm living in off. Like, I don't think I should say the same thing, it's like, you said, dude, I think it's shame. I'm saying,
All right, so let's so I expect a lot of people have done that the other way around. We'll take a break, and after the break, I'll just discuss the solution and we'll continue from here, right? So let's take a break and we'll be back.
I have no errors on my.
Wonderful. It's working fine now? No, okay. That's